Cars waiting to go out for the manufacturer's time trial, MAC3. 3 cars from each of our manufacturers against the clock. 3 Hondas and 3 Volvos will head out on track. Great place to take photos, whether you've got a proper camera with a whacking great lens or you're happy snapping. In fact, there are so many great vistas around here, so many good views, so much to see as well. Always worth a great trip to Monza.
Just waiting for MAC3 tyre change. Time starts in 50 seconds when they will get 4 minutes to work on the cars and prepare the 2 factory teams, the Hondas and the Volvos, for the MAC3 challenge.
So track temperature climbing. Air temperature 3 degrees warmer than it was in FP2. Track degree 10 degrees warmer. Volvos in the sunshine, and alongside them the Hondas, waiting for the start of MAC3, the 3-car time trial. Cars will head out on track in a little under 2 minutes. Well, Matt, you posed a few questions this morning during free practice. What would happen if one of the cars gets a puncture? Is there a minimum lap time if they all crawl round together? The only restriction I know of is that the last car, which is what stops the clock, if you like, that has been started when they go, has to be within 30 seconds crossing the line at the end of 2 laps of the others.
And the other one is if one car runs out wide over the white line, then theory,
well, then only
it's all scrapped.
Yeah, then only 2 complete it. Exactly right. Let's see what Volvo's Ivan Muller has to say.
The boys in blue are running very well here, aren't they?
Yeah, very well. I'm very proud of what the team achieved during the winter. 3 cars on Q3. This was even not possible 4 months ago, and now we have 3 cars with the capacity to do on pole position, so it's a great job.
You are the World Touring Car champion around this circuit. You've got more pole positions and more wins than any of our other drivers. What advice have you given to these boys?
You know, I don't really give them advice. They are here because they are top drivers and they know what they have to do. I'm more here to be sure they don't forget something or to give them an idea. But then they decide what they have to do. But the fantastic thing is they are very open-minded. And they listen to me, and then they take what they want.
They're out for MAC3 now.
Cars are heading out on track. Matt Neal, you know, very savvy of Volvo. We said this right at the beginning when we knew Citroën were coming, was you've got to haul in somebody like Ivan Muller. You've got to get all that experience. You've got to build it into the team. At that stage, he was driving. At this stage, he's not. But the experience is not negated. It's just as effective. And having him on board is a really big bonus for the team.
Yeah, Martin, and obviously the combination of Ivan and Ronnie Hartfeld, they were part of the dream team of this, in the heydays when Chevrolet were just...
The last time blue cars were winning everything.
I was just thinking, looking at Ivan there, if he shaved his beard off, it would take 15 years off him.
Yeah.
It would take 15 years off him.
Do you know what? I wonder if that slightly in his head is, I'm not looking like the racing driver Ivan anymore, and people are now asking me, how come you're not racing driving? You know, it's in there, isn't it? It's like, okay, I'm not going to wear a tie anymore. You know, when you retire, I'm not going to wear a tie, I'm not going to shave if I don't want to, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's all part of that little sea change. And of course, you know, with that beard, he wouldn't fit in at Citroën Racing, but boy, does he ever fit in amongst the Swedes.
The Swedes, I mean,
there's a hirsute, 1 or 2 of them among them. You know, they could be Norwegian. Frankly, there's so much Viking going on there. Nestor Girolami, Ted Björk, Nicky Katzberg will go out for Volvo. Tiago Montero, Norbert Michelic, and Ryo Michigami for Honda. Just 2 points separate the manufacturers in the standings, courtesy of the points they've now earned in qualifying.
So, if one of these goes over the track limits, then in theory...
Yeah, it depends.
whether the stewards like it or not.
Yeah, it depends where, because didn't quite catch what happened to Girolami's lap time. Clearly, you can head off into a different postcode out of Ascari and nobody gives a fig, because Thiago didn't get penalised for that. And you can be there or thereabouts, yeah, marginally 4 wheels off.
Wasn't Katzberg out of Lesmo 1 and 2?
Yeah.
So you're all right there.
Yeah. So is it only the Parabolica? I mean, I've never even driven anything around here, and I know that running out wide out of the Lesmo 2 gives you more speed to Ascari. Running wide out of Ascari gives you more speed to Parabolica. Running wide out of the Parabolica gives you more speed to the first chicane. Those are the 3 that you have to police if you're going to be bothered.
Well,
and it appears we're only policing 1, and even then, benefit of the doubt rules. Okay, well. Red lights are on, and away we go. Lots of tyre smoke from the inside row there. That's the dirty part of the track. Nesta Girolami may not have been intended to be the time-setting driver, but he now tucks in behind. We saw Volvo practicing this a little bit in free practice 1. It works just as well for qualifying as it does for MAC3. And they 3 cars together. Matt, the problem here is really only the driver of the train and not the 2 carriages behind him can actually see where he's going that well.
Yeah, it's Girolami just had a bit too much wheel. I think it was Girolami, wasn't it?
Yeah,
had a bit too much wheel spin at the start, but it's actually worked out perfectly for them. They ended up line formation going into the first chicane, and they're holding it strong now.
Yeah. Well, compared to Marrakesh, this is a track that has got much better sight lines for the driver, so even if you can't see directly through the car in front, you've got all the periphery, which gives you much more of a clue. You've got a much more organic feel to the corners here. It's not stop-start, jinking left and right, 90-degree left, 90-degree right, you know, that street circuit rhythm.
Biog just seems on top of his game all weekend, doesn't he? He's come here and he's just, his tail's up, and he's now really holding station. Katzberg's car looks loose. It's looked loose all morning, and it still does now. You through the first chicane into Lesmo. It looks taily, but which could be great for the race.
But Björk seems to be just floating over it all. I mean, his car is as loose and as jiggly, but it seems to be bothering him absolutely not 1 iota. I must ask him, actually, what sort of history he's got here with Monza in, you know, Formula 3000 and what have you. And whether it's a track that he's habitually liked, not liked, so-so, or whether he's won races here. But at the moment, as you say, look, he's just pulling away from the other 2, despite the fact he's actually towing them along in his slipstream.
Yeah, all 3 Volvo drivers very evenly matched here.
Yeah. So 2 minutes 0.296 for the first lap from a standing start.
These guys could almost afford to play it a wee bit safe, because after, okay, in free practice earlier this morning, Mishigami in the 3rd factory Honda, he was bang on, but since then, for some reason, he's struggled a bit, and you know, he would, on paper now, you'd have to say he'd struggle to keep up with the 2 Castrol cars. Yeah. So, if these guys have got a strong first lap, in which they have, should they play it safe in the second lap, make sure they get the banker and then put the pressure on Honda?
Well, the lucky thing is they've actually spread out. They've either by design or accident ended up with them in speed order. Don't forget, Girolami was the first to go out in Q3 because he was the slowest of the trio. Then Katzberg was the 2nd quickest of the trio, and Ted Björk was last to go in Q5 because he was the fastest of the 3. So they've actually ended up in team order, and despite the slipstream, they are spreading out. So Girolami's got room, even if Katzberg makes a mistake. Katzberg's got room, even if Björk makes a mistake, for none of them to be held up. And it doesn't matter when the first car comes across the line, it only matters how long it takes Girolami to get around. That's the thing with a cycling time trial, which this is modelled on. It is the last car across the line that stops the clock. He's the one who sets the time.
Let's have a look at what the time's going to do.
there is the mark that we are looking at for Honda to break, 3 minute 53.448.
Back from lap 1, close down the exit, please.
53.1's a strong
Okay,
second lap.
thank you.
Real. I reckon that's going to be tough for Honda to match.
Rio Michigami leads Norbert Mikulits, leads Thiago Monteiro. And that is in reverse order of their speed. No, it's not actually, because Norby missed out on Q3. So Michigami was quicker than Mikulits. Thiago Monteiro was fastest of the lot. No, Norby missed out, he was 6th. Michigami missed out by more, didn't he? Yes, so he's... so Thiago was the quickest, and so ideally what they want is for Michigami to fit in the middle. Man in the grey gilet there was the global head of Honda Motorsport, who's not sure how many times he's been here already, but who is taking happy slaps around the place on his camera phone like any other visitor to the paddock. Lots of Honda top brass here this weekend, rather than travelling to the Russian Grand Prix in Sochi. Coming here where perhaps they've got a decent shot at a podium. Away they go. Slightly slower start from Rio Michigami, deliberately so. Didn't seem to get rolling the way that the other two did. He's designated as a time.
They all got a pretty good start there, Martin.
Yeah.
That's worked out well for them.
Yeah. Well, they're close enough together. Looking back from Thiago to Norby to Rio. They're as close together at the beginning of the lap as the Volvos were.
Looked too pedestrian into turn 1 there. Now, whether they were just nice and neat, but the Volvo looked a little bit more on the edge. 10th down.
Yeah. Thiago looking quite twitchy under braking there as they got down to the Roger.
It's up to Thiago to make the pace now. He's got to get his head down and pin his ears back.
Yeah.
And pull the other two with him.
Well, he's been the fastest of the 3 for most of the day.
Michigami's keeping pace well.
Yeah. And Honda's bigger deficit will be their extreme top speed at the end of this this straight. So out of the Variante Ascari, down towards the Parabolica. When they get right up into the big numbers, that's where Honda say that's where they lose out because of the shape of the hatchback Civic. But we know from the split times, or from the speed gun there, that actually Thiago Monteiro had higher top speed than anyone else in free practice.
Yeah.
Anyone else in any other car. So
I think it's okay like this.
Thiago doesn't want
to... Okay like this. Stay as we are.
They're not going to pull that back, Martin, so they might as well just make sure they don't make any mistakes and trundle around. And
well, even if they make a mistake, unless somebody crashes heavily, they're still going to finish second out of 2, so they will still get points for second. You're right, they're not going to find a second.
Well, look on the bright side, it's a podium.
It's a podium. Unfortunately, it does mean Volvo creep away a little further in the manufacturer's standings. But again, you know, you've got to take the points when you can get them and take the wins when it's one of your tracks. And this is not a Honda circuit. They are fairly convinced it's not going to be a Honda circuit. And so if you can't win, take the maximum points you can get. Thiago had four wheels off track pretty much there on the Exeter Lesmo one, but that shouldn't be an issue. Wasn't on a qualifying lap, can't see why it would be on a MAC3 lap. Be interesting to see what the split or what the speed gun shows us at the end of the straight for Montero versus his two teammates, because Ryo Michigami is losing a little bit of ground. Slipstream isn't everything, you know. If all the other braking, cornering and other inputs are identical to the car at the front, then yes, with a slipstream on the straight, your engine gets a bit more bang for its buck. But that does rather depend on everything else being identical. Of course, when you're behind in the quicker corners, you are losing out a little bit of front-end grip.
Well, it's a solid lap, solid two laps, so got the job done, no mistakes.
Again, we are going to go to circuits.
Okay, guys, anyway, we're done 2 seconds lower. So, coming in, not really slow, so medium average, and park the car in the parc fermé. Yeah.
We are going to see circuits where Honda will use their nimble chassis to their advantage, but this is a circuit where Honda heading back to MAC3. MAC3 winners, though, are Volvo Polestar Cyan Racing. Alex Legui is with them.
Happy days for the Volvo boys. Congratulations, MAC3 winners. Talk us through it. Lightning off the start.
Lightning, yeah, they light the tires up, so I hope they do the same in the race so I can just cruise. But no, but it was good start. It was okay start for me, and then I just tried to pull them all the way around.
Ebu, you were our time setter. Talk us through your lap.
Yes, congratulations first of all. Ted did a fantastic job. First pole position for Volvo. Nicky as well. We are in P5, in Q3. This is very important for us. And also we won again the MAC3. That is the main goal for the team. So I felt really, really confident with my car. I did a mistake in Q3, but it was okay. The result for the team is very good.
You boys seem to be working very, very well as a team. Do we see you doing a bit of a mock run in qualifying as well?
Well, in qualifying, we tried to basically get the slipstreaming right, because in Monza that's super important, and we did it perfectly, to be honest. We had really good slipstreaming, and congratulations to Ted, because he had a fantastic lap. I don't know where he got that one from, but he did very well, and I'm just, like Nestor said, super happy that we are all in Q3, all in top 5, and then winning MAC3 again. Fantastic.
And great points for you all. Well done.
All good stuff for the Manufacturers' Championship, so they ease out a little. 2 MAC3s, 2 wins. Don't forget, Volvo have not competed in MAC3 before now. Last year, just 2 cars, which doesn't quite fulfill the 3-car obligation, does it? Nicky Katzberg a little wide. Nestor Girolami a little wider still there through the Variante Ascari, compared to a very neat lap for Ted Björk. So, 116 points now. Volvo ease out a further 4 ahead of Honda. This is only the 2nd race weekend of 10 this season, though, so there's lots of time for ebb and flow. But that brings our afternoon's action for the FIA World Touring Car to a close. So that will leave us with just tomorrow's 2 races. Don't forget, European Touring Car Cup action also tomorrow morning from Monza. That starts at 9 o'clock local time. But our opening race in the World Touring Car Championship is at midday Central European time. So the track goes quiet temporarily here for Matt Neal, for Alex Legui, and for the rest of the World Touring Car Championship TV crew here in Monza. Martin Haven saying thank you for joining us. Join us again tomorrow. We're on air with the first of our 2 encounters at midday, and then the 2nd of our races gets away immediately after repair time, so they will be back to back here in Italy. The Autodromo Nazionale di Monza is always a venue for classic racing. Join us if you can, please, for all the action. We'll see you tomorrow, but for now, arrivederci even from Italy.